Welcome to Just Be a Man. Each week, we offer commentary from a man's perspective on a range of meaningful topics, such as our world, family, relationships, sex, and much, much more. Our purpose is to impart wisdom to our audience through meaningful and transparent conversation. This program is hosted by 5 brothers from other mothers, who have been friends for over 30 years, and collectively have over 250 years of experience.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Stefan DeVille leading today's episode. If you listened to our podcast before, our panel consists of 5 gentlemen who have been friends for over 30 plus years and have a wealth of experience surrounding them. Today's topic will be I'm too old for ... So Wayne, what do you think that you're too old for ...
Hey, Steph, thanks for giving me this opportunity. I thought about this a little bit when I heard the topic, and the first thing, I think I got like 3 things I want to speak on. But first, this is an honorable mention. First thing I want to say is I'm too old for the fantasy. The fantasy of the beginning of every year, counting on the Knicks to do something important. I'm tired of this bullshit. But anyway, I'm not going to include that into that. The first thing I'm tired of, I'm too old for, is this skinny jeans bullshit. What is that all about? These dudes had these tight ass pants on and it's hanging off their ass. Come on, man. That don't even make sense. Next thing, I'm really not feeling this whole debate that people are having over this pronoun of he, she, they. This sexuality thing is really crazy. It's something that these young kids are dealing with. We never had to deal with. I don't want to deal with it, but this is still something that's out there for us to live with each and every day. So that's what I'm too old for.
Okay, anything else?
You want to hear more Nick stuff?
No, not really. We'll let the Knicks go as part of the drop the mic. That's part of your fantasy. Anyway, Chuck, what are you too old for ?
Man, I am too old for sagging. I'm too old for these disrespectful kids running around here using the N word all willy nilly, talking about we're taking the power back. No, silly children, sit down and learn something from your elders, your seniors. You will never take, if you can't, if a white person can't walk up to you or your wife and say, "Hey, what's up, my nigga?" then you're not taking the power back. There's always power going to be in that word because there's too much blood attached to that word. I said sagging, the N word, and just disrespect for children, man. I see, I'm riding by and I see an elderly lady standing at the bus stop and 5 able-bodied kids sitting on the bus bench. Oh no, sir. I've when we were coming up, come on, man, you couldn't be disrespectful to your seniors like that. And that's it for me, man. That's what I don't have time for. I don't have time for these disrespectful kids with the bad attitudes, the bad language. And it's not always the kid's fault. In most of these cases, it's the parents' fault. But that's what I don't have time for. Brother Stefan.
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate it. I keep hitting mute and I screw myself up every time. So, Mike,
Yeah,
can laugh
yeah,
at myself. Brother
that's
Mike,
all right.
I'm too old for ...
I'm too old for trying on some old clothes and your areolas are showing through your shirt. I'm too
I'm
old.
sorry.
I'm too old for even trying to put my shirt on and my blood pressure is getting cut off from the sleeve because the short sleeve is cutting into my bicep. Uh, let's see what else. I'm too old for manscaping. I'm too old to manscape. My clippers. I put my clippers on. If you don't put them on the right selection, next thing you got the Mohegan Sun up down there. You know what I mean? And now there's a problem with the munching crunch. Um, I'm just too old for that stuff, and I just need to get. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my blood pressure is too low. That's what I'm too old for. Too old for low and high blood pressure because it affects my brain, and that's all I'm gonna say at that point.
All right. Well, Mike, I appreciate your honesty and giving us an opportunity to find out what you're too old for. Charles, what are you too old for? Dot dot
Man,
dot.
hold on. Let's take a step back. Let's go back to the manscaping real quick. Because all of us are in our 50s, right? Now, if you don't manscape, what's going to happen is that you're going to have a bunch of grays on your nuts.
Yeah,
And if you want your leg,
yeah.
down south,
No,
I mean, hey, you're going to have to take care of that because I don't think she want to be staring at no
no,
gray
no,
just
Charles.
because you go around it.
I manscape, but I'm saying I'm too old for it because it's like every two showers, that one little hair I'm battling that one little hair, the last of Mohegans. You know what I mean? I'm just tired of it. You know what I mean? I
I
just
got,
tired of that one hair, and that's the one that interferes with the munching crunch.
no, I got you. I
You know
got
what I
you.
mean?
I'm good.
I'm tired of people talking about something. I'm tired of hearing something's in my nose. And I'm trying to like, what is? I thought I got rid of Billy, but Billy
Yeah.
came back.
Hilarious.
Well, with
Hilarious.
Well, with the exception of the Manscaped, I would say check, 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 and more checks on top of what everybody else said.
Right.
But to add to it, I would say I'm too old to be walking on eggshells around people. I believe in treating people, a certain way, treating them right, but I shouldn't have to temper my speech to accommodate other people's insecurities. I'm just
Amen,
over
brother.
Amen.
dealing with sensitive ass people, especially dudes. I can't stand that. There's
Right.
nothing worse than an oversensitive, whiny ass dude. I just can't stand that. So I just want to just literally just slap the shit out of them. So and say, man up. Another thing I'm too old for is just playing games. Russ, we are in our 50s now. I can't even entertain the notion of side chicks. Can't do it. Can't do it. Too much energy, too much time, too much risk involved. Can't do it. Too old for that. I'm too old for domestics. Now, what do I look like having the police show up at my house and I'm 50 years old? Come on, man. Can't do it. Too old for that. Too old for the club lifestyle. Can't be up in nobody's club. Over 50 years old. Can't do it. Can't be turning up. Leave that to the young folks. At our age, nah. I think we've had too much of that. Also, I'm too old not to have my crap together. I'm talking about credit. I'm talking about finances. I know guys, and you probably know them too, that are our age that are still living at home with mom and dad. That's a no-no in this day and age. Too old for that. Not cool. Stefan, I'll turn it back over to you, brother.
Well, I appreciate everything that you just labeled, Charles. Anyone want to ask Charles any other questions? Because he sounds like a fired up brother. Okay, well, this is Stefan. I am too old to believe in the United States government's actions any longer. Where I'm going with this is all we were promised back in 1865 was a mule and 40 acres. What would it cost the U.S. government at that time? Yeah, probably 300 million at the most to provide every Negro an opportunity to have 40 acres and a mule. There was plenty of land. We could have done some things with that. We had Black Wall Street, but all of a sudden there's retribution and there's no, I'm sorry, not retribution. There's this pesky thing known as discrimination. Now, all of a sudden, because of a failure of a leader and the administration, we can find $2 trillion to pay as a stimulus. I'm too old for that. We should have already stimulated the economy back in 1865 so that we would have generational wealth. We should have, ensured that everyone had a fighting chance. We should not have allowed certain people to burn down Black Wall Street in Tulsa. So that's one thing I'm too old for. To caveat on what Charles said, I'm too old to hit the club. I don't want to be at the club at 10 o'clock. Matter of fact, when we go out as fellas, normally we start looking at our watch around 10:30, 11 o'clock. My God, I don't think we've been out to midnight in years because we're just too old for that. We got too many things to it's just time to go to sleep. Another thing that, I think I'm too old for is people that lie, cheat, and tolerate those people that do lie and cheat or steal. I'm too old for that. Don't come over here looking at my stuff thinking about when you can come back and lift it. Oh no, brother, you're not invited ever again. And I'm gonna whip somebody's ass that brought you over here with them because you should have already screened them. So those are the things I'm too old for. Anyone have any other additional things that they'd like to throw out?
Yeah, I got one last thing I want to bring up, Steph. Thank you. That's music. Now, I know we touched on a lot of things. I just want to bring up music real quick. So I'm a fan of the hip hop rap music, but I'm not a fan of this stuff that they play in now. There's a couple of cats out there that I think are pretty good, but these young dudes, my God, I can't even understand what they're saying, and that's crazy, right? So that shows that we getting old. But anyway, I'm just saying I'm used to the old school hip hop, and there's still some cats that are still doing some good stuff. But this new stuff, I don't know. They just need a little hook, a little dance, or whatever, and now it's popular. Or they make up something crazy and it's on YouTube or somewhere on social media. Something
Preach,
crazy.
preach, my brother, preach.
So I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just trying to tell you, man. I'm almost embarrassed to say I'm a hip hop head because this hip hop that they playing now is not. It's killing me. It's killing me. So I'm too old for this current hip hop. Yeah, I play some old ass Jay Z, Nas, and stuff like that, so I could say, yeah, that's real hip hop. That's it for me.
Oh, I agree, 100%. Anyone else have things that they're too old for?
Yeah, I'm too old for reacquainting old relationships. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but when somebody falls out of your life 15 years and then they come back and you connect and you're talking for about a good week or so, and then you don't talk to the person, and then you get a text message or email saying, I knew I shouldn't have did this because, and this is a family member. And now you get added stress that you had lost years ago. Now it's reincarnated. So all I'm saying, if you reunite with someone, a family member, whatever, you best to be upfront saying, hey, man, it's good to be in contact with you, good to see you and everything. But listen, we'll talk to each other when we talk to each other. Don't make up any rules or regulations when you're supposed to see them, because if you don't follow through with it, now that's another person added to your list of people who, sometime get on your nerves for no reason. So I'm just saying, I'm too old for that. That's it.
Appreciate it, Mike. Chuck or Charles?
Well, I'd like to ask Mike a question. What are your thoughts on nipple rings?
Nipple ring. Well, as far as my experience with nipple ring, um, I made an attempt on nipple rings, but I don't know, something was wrong with my front areola due to the fact that it kept blocking the hook from coming in under the nipple. So I had to relinquish that fact. But as far as other people in my past before I got married and what I dealt with, nipple rings are okay, depending on what kind of flavor honey you put on.
You're killing me, Mike.
Not the flavor of honey. Jesus. Chuck, do you have anything else?
Man, I'm too busy over here laughing at y'all, man. This is hilarious. But in terms of man, I was keeping it clean. There's a lot of stuff that I'm too old for, man. I'm too old for fat women and yoga pants. I'm too fat for. Come on, man. I look. I can keep it going. Is
Keep it
that just?
going. Keep it going.
Hey, look, and I'm not discriminating. Fat dudes. I said, man, come on, man. Y'all can't wear everything, man. I know. I was a fat dude, and trust me, I couldn't wear everything. Hey, come on, man. If you know that your breath is bad, come on, man. You should know. Everybody should know if their breath is bad now, man, because everybody's wearing a mask. Yes, it was you. Yes, sir. It was you. All the time, it was
Yeah.
you. You're foul. Oh my God, is my breath? Yes, it was you the whole time, sir. So yeah, I got to come on, man. This coronavirus, man. I'm getting a lot of stuff off my chest, man. I'm telling people, man. Like Charles said, I ain't got time for it. Come on, man. We don't have time for it. Charles, I know you got a bunch more. Charles, what else you got?
Man, Wayne brought up the music thing, hip hop,
Right.
etc. My thing is, man, I'm a slow jam dude, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in that era, the Earth, Wind and Fire, the Atlantic Star, you
Preach.
know, types
Yeah.
of slow jams that you could really spend some quality time with your lady. You could understand again every lyric. It was
Real
it was
music.
it was real music, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot think of more than five quality slow jams these days that would really just be something that I would turn on with my lady, pour some wine, spend a quality, evening, listening to,
Well,
the
everybody
stuff.
sounds the same.
Yeah, it's off the chain, man. It's
Yeah.
just, I that stuff is killing me, man. I'm too old for that. Just take me back to the old, 70s, 80s, even early 90s R&B, and
Yeah.
I'll be right there.
You know what?
Yeah, but what's good about that? Sorry,
But
Mike. What's really good about that is we get to pick our own music now. So
Mhm.
it used to be a time where we had to listen to what was on the radio. We had to hurry up and wait for slow jams to come on and try to record it and stuff like that. Now, yeah, with that you got your own little music player. You could play exactly what you want, download what you want, and so you don't gotta listen to all this nonsense. So I'm gonna tell you, when I get in the car, I don't even turn on the radio. I listen to stuff that I want to listen to because this
Right.
other stuff is nonsense to me.
Yeah.
I tell you what I'm too old for. I'm too old for porn. And the reason why I say I'm too old for porn, I'm too old to getting caught. I'm tired of getting caught with shiny hands. You know what I mean? It's like
It gets
every time,
boring as hell.
like I think after the fact, I pass out and I forgot that I got to wash my hands and get rid of the evidence. So I'm getting tired of getting caught. So somebody got to wake me up with a bottle of baby oil on the floor and a roll of toilet tissue. I'm tired of getting caught because I don't know what to say. You know,
So you're using toilet tissue, Mike, instead of paper towels?
I'm
Aren't you
doing toilet
sticky?
paper. I'm doing
Okay.
toilet paper. You know what I mean? I got my hands wrapped up like boxing gloves. I don't play around. You know.
So this is why we have a shortage of
Anyway,
toilet paper.
but seriously, I'm too old for that. I ain't got time for
Safety
that no
first.
more.
Safety first,
I
Mike.
deleted all my stuff. I Pornhub, Hub Porn, Bluetooth, RedTube. Yeah. I did it. I admit it, and I
Hey,
got rid of
Mike.
it.
Mike. The one thing that your ass is too old for is lying. All right, because your ass is
That's
watching
right.
porn. Okay,
That's
your ass is watching porn. As a matter of fact, I'm still afraid to borrow your cell phone because I might catch something. Nah, come on, bro.
Listen. All I can tell you, just look at this. Look at the cell phone. If it's shiny, don't pick it up.
Exactly. Hey, look. Oh
uh,
man.
Yeah, you're killing me.
all right. Well, I think we've gotten enough out of "I'm Too Old," and we're going to move to a segment that we call "Drop the Mic." The panel. This gives the panel an opportunity to get something off their chest. First up, Wayne. Go.
All right, I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. Over the last couple of days, I've been looking into some information and this coronavirus. I know we've been just having a good time. I don't want to bring us down, but this coronavirus stuff is crazy. And just looking at some of the numbers that how the United States has been affected, it's crazy to me that how New York has been affected. When you look at the numbers, there's over 200,000 cases in the state of New York. It's crazy, right? So the next closest state to 200,000 is 69,000, and that's Jersey.
Wow,
So New York, New Jersey together are 300,000 of the
that's
cases.
crazy.
The next number of states with the next level of cases is below 30,000 per state. Below 30,000 per state. It's crazy. Now, with all these people, that's just with the cases. With the deaths, there's 10 between New York and New Jersey. There's 13,000 deaths. There's like 30,000 deaths in the whole
That's
country,
bananas.
and 13,000 of them between New York and New Jersey.
Wow.
that sounds crazy to me, right? And here's the other thing: with the deaths being what they are, 30%, excuse me, 70% of all the deaths are of African Americans or minorities, where the minorities in this country are less than 13% of the population.
It says a lot, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, big
I-
time.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yo, so these are the numbers I just saw on the internet. I'm not saying this is all accurate, but even if it's skewed by a little bit here and there, it's still crazy. So all I'm gonna say is, I'm not here to talk about no conspiracy or nothing crazy like that. But I'm just saying, how is it concentrated in one
I
place?
don't put it past the
I mean,
government. I don't care what nobody say.
yo, yeah, I'm gonna tell you like this: the state of New York is big, but California and Texas are bigger. And together, there's not 40,000 cases in the state of California and Texas combined.
Damn.
There's been barely 1,000 deaths between those two states. They're both bigger than the state of New York. And I'm not just saying by geographical size, but population of California is crazy.
That's
So
true.
how is that? How is that?
I could add,
That's my drop of mic.
I could add, offer an explanation. New York City is so dense, and the fact that the health disparity between African Americans and the rest of society is so wide. I was talking to my spouse the other day, and the fact that New Yorkers you rely on, or New Yorkers rely on public transportation a lot. They live in apartment buildings that may or may not have operating elevators, or you know, um, you're up on each other. At least within California,
But
as I understood, they got ahead of it early and started shutting things down. But go ahead, Why?
well, let me say this stuff. Let me say this stuff though. I know New York is a little bit different, but look at Chicago. Chicago's a major metropolitan area that uses mass
That's
transit.
true.
Their numbers are nothing like this.
That is true. That is true.
So I mean, what you're saying is valid, but I'm just saying it's so lopsided. It just looks so crazy to me. I mean, obviously, I'm being from there. I'm a little bit sensitive to that, but I'm just saying it looks crazy. I got old people. I shouldn't call them old. I got people in my family, older people in my family that are there now in the middle of this nonsense. Now, finally, looks like it's going down a little bit, but still, it seems so
Yeah.
concentrated. I mean, it's not just. I mean, everybody wasn't on the same train.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? That's crazy to me. But that's it. I'm sorry to go along with that.
No, that's all good. That's all good. Chuck, drop the mic.
Oh man, I actually took my drop the mic and kind of blended it in earlier. So my other drop the mic was about inconsiderate neighbors. It's not that
Mm.
funny, but we're going through this. It's kind of touching on the whole pandemic thing. We're supposed to be doing what we're supposed to do,
Yep.
social distancing, all that. I go out to the mailbox to get the mail and stuff, and my neighbor waving and stuff, and hey, how you doing? How you making it through? And he decides to walk across the street. Okay, I thought that we could have talked from across the street, but okay, he decides to walk across the street, and then he walks right up on me on my mailbox, and I'm trying to be respectful because he's my neighbor, but he's been my neighbor for 15 some years, so we're like family. I'm trying to be respectful. So finally, I had to tell my neighbor. I said, "Dude, what are you doing?" I said, I'm back up." And he was like, "Oh, you practice that social distancing, huh?" It's just one of those times where I just had to, like, hey, you have a nice day, turn around, walk away. I've known this guy for 15, 16 years and didn't know he's a fucking idiot. so, so now I guess my thing is now I'm looking at my neighbor differently. And I kind of got to treat him differently because I don't think he's all there. So my drop the mic is you think you know somebody, especially your neighbors, for some 15 years, and turns out they just not as smart as you think they are.
Mm.
So that's my drop the mic. I just couldn't believe that dude just walked up on me like that and I mean, to the point where I almost felt his breath, and I was like, dude, come on,
I
that's
believe
crazy.
it. I believe it.
Yeah.
And hi y'all. This is Mike. And I just want to say that I'm piggybacking on what Chuck said about people taking their own initiative as far as what they feel social distances is or whatever. And I just want to say that for me, I'm just being in the house, man. This thing, you starting to learn more about your kids and you start to learn more about your woman. And I got to the point where I was one Reese's piece away from jumping everybody today. Just one. because everybody got on my nerves at a different level. And all I'm saying is that if you want people to live in your house safely without getting windmilled, because I don't know if y'all don't know me, but you ask my friends, you don't want to get windmilled by a brother like me, because I will windmill you if you keep getting on my nerves. So drop the mic as far as having a meltdown.
So in other words, they gotta keep Snicker bars for you, then, Mike. Right?
Man, listen, Snicker bars ain't even gonna do it, Steph, because it's like you looking at people crazy. Like, I didn't know you did that shit. Yeah, what the hell? You just looking at people. Like, you sit on the couch and watch somebody go to the kitchen, what they eat, how they eat and stuff. Listen, it's about to go down. A lot of people about to have meltdowns with this social distancing and being in the house together. Like I was talking to Wayne about, there's gonna be a high rate of kids being born. There's gonna be a high rate of divorce. That's all I can say. Drop the mic.
All right, appreciate it, there, Mike and Charles.
All right. Well, everybody knows that the U.S. Census has been out there for a while. Folks just trying to get these numbers from a federal government perspective. The other day, I took a head count. I completed the census. I did the math. I carried the one, and I discovered that I have 7 people living in my house.
Phew.
But
Wait a minute, Charles. I'm sorry. You said you took a head count?
I
I took
knew
a
it.
head,
I
took a
knew
head
it.
count.
Okay.
I
I'm sorry.
knew
Go
it.
ahead. Continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's
Yeah.
not your people.
I counted every single cranium in my household. But
Inside joke again.
People that don't know, there's an inside joke directed right at me. So, and this is Stefan, but I'll get him
But
back.
anyway, there are only 2 people in my house, me and my wife, that pay bills. Now, that means that I have 5 non-bill payers living in my house, and 3 of them have jobs. Now, what I find interesting about non-bill payers is that they tend to be some of the laziest house cleaners, have the biggest appetites, and they have the worst attitudes. Every time I walk into my kitchen,
Preach, brother.
there is a non-bill payer eating my food.
Well,
There is a non-bill payer drinking everything that has sugar content from the refrigerator. Now, I go to wash my clothes the other day. One of the non-bill payers already has their clothes in my washing machine. Now, something
preach.
is very wrong with this, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm not alone out there. There are many of us in that are within earshot. We must unite and take action against these non-bill payers living in our houses for free. Drop the mic.
Well, I appreciate that, Charles. This is
Man, I,
Stefan.
I, I stood up and applauded.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
I ain't
I,
gonna lie. I
I
stood up
gotta
and
give you
applauded.
that one. That's true. Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm triggered. I'm man. As soon as this is over, somebody's about to get the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is Stefan. Yeah, I don't think I can top Charles, but I can say this. I'm the type of dude, if you come to me with a problem, I'm going to work hard for a solution. And I will give you a solution. But then once I give you the solution, don't drag your feet for 2 or 3 weeks and not produce the solution I provided you. Oh, let's just say somebody came to me and said, I may make some cupcakes and mail them out.
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah. Well, I gotta
Uh-oh.
talk. I gotta preach. I gotta preach because I've already had the discussion. I've already,
Uh-oh.
I've
Uh-oh.
already had the discussion. I'm like, that's a great idea. Let's just go ahead and order some containers. And since we're here and we're just doing telework, hell, we could do some cakes and send them out to the masses. I know everybody will enjoy it. Whoo, Lord Jesus, we've been 2 weeks. Ain't the blender ain't moved once? The blender ain't moved once except to make some brownies. I'm like, don't come to me with a problem and an opportunity to make a side hustle, a nice side hustle, because everybody wants, non-bill payers are willing to pay for cupcakes so that they can eat them on their own. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so that's my drop to mic. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I had to get it off my chest. And the person guilty knows it too,
Mm.
because I still look at him.
Well,
Hey, brother,
Yes.
I got an extra set of pillows and blankets over here
yeah.
for you. So just in case, just
Yeah,
putting it out there.
well, I do have a nice size home. I'll just sleep in the basement if I have to.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah,
music.
yeah. No worries, no worries. I was just
I,
letting you know. I got you.
but I appreciate it.
'Cause
All right.
that's where you go.
Hey, Steph, we'll let you know. We'll let you know this is going to be broadcasted out.
I would hope by then it will all be out, and people will start getting cakes. Anyway, so anybody
Hey,
else have a drop the mic?
brother, just start apologizing now. Just word of advice. Okay.
Yeah, we might have to go into the show archives and pull up the divorce segment.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just one. Don't give me a problem, because I'll come up with a solution and recommendation and solution, and even help you wash dishes. Oh,
Well,
I'm sorry. I slipped.
well, physician, heal thyself and come up with a solution for this because your ass is
Yeah.
in trouble.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You
let's
about
move it.
1 Reese's piece away from ass whipping.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh my god. So
You feeling yourself, ain't you,
yeah, well, I
Steph?
had to get it off my chest. That's what this
I
podcast is
got you.
all about.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
got you.
Hey,
I
Steph,
got
you
you.
must have had the Knob Creek cough drop.
Oh my god. Oh,
It's
anyway,
all fun and
so,
games till you catch a spatula at 3 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, hey. I have had a knife and a gun at me, so
Okay, moving on.
not in this current relationship. Thank you, Jesus. Anyway, so anybody else have a drop the mic?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Think we good,
All
Steph?
right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our time today. If you'd like to follow our journey or podcast, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram under Just Be a Man 2020. I say again, Just Be a Man 2020. Leave us a comment, suggestion, or request a future topic. We sign off with peace, understanding, and blessings for an outstanding rest of the day. Goodbye.
Deuces.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Just Be a Man podcast. Be sure to check us out on social media where you can subscribe to our show and or leave a comment. We will love to receive your feedback. Also, remember to tune in next week for more meaningful discussion. Until then, we wish you peace and blessings.